Oh my goodness. Today's interview series is so exciting because Amy came to me through one of my clients and really, really good friends when we were talking about supplements and all these things that are happening that I don't know that we ever talked about happening back in the day because we weren't subjected to some of the toxins and some of the things that we were eating way back in the day, and hearing from Stacy how great she feels. And it would be owed to this beautiful woman who stepped out in faith to design supplements that are truly made for our greatest life, and like being able to be free from so many challenges. And so you get to meet Amy today, and she has an incredible website. It's in my backdrop, Restored Identity, and back to the basics. So, Amy, will you share more about you, how you came to where you are right now, and you're already growing, and the fact that you're moving locations. So, share more about you and how you ended up here.
Oh yeah. So long story short, I grew up really sick as a child, very dysfunctional childhood. I joined the Marine Corps after high school. I was also very sick throughout childhood too. Then I got in the Marine Corps, got vaccine damaged, and then as I got older, I just became very ill, and ill to a point where I was using a cane to walk 6 years ago. And I had just kind of reached my like, I'm sick and tired of sick and tired. And I was just ready to give up because I was like, there's no way at 34 I'm going to walk with a cane the rest of my life. Like there's just no way. And so I had went to a doctor, a neurologist, and they were going to diagnose me with MS because they just couldn't figure out at that point, like, what is going on with her. And so after years in the medical system, a friend called me up one night, and this was like during COVID. And she said, hey, or right before COVID, she said, hey, we can heal our bodies. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, we're missing this one component. And then I just sent me down this spiritual rabbit hole of finding herbs throughout scripture and then realizing, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff that God told us not to eat to protect us. And then the world and the church turned around and told us, hey, actually, yeah, you can eat pork, you can eat all that, you can eat shellfish. But really, what it is they're all bottom feeders and they're toxic, and it harms us, and that's why God was like, hey, you don't want to eat that. So anyway, long story short, I start learning all of these things, and my daughter says to me at the time, she was 11, she's like, mom, you need to get on TikTok and you need to tell everybody everything you know, because she grew up, we made our own perfumes, our own lotions, our body wash, like we just did all of that together. And at first I was like, no way. And then I just started making videos, and it was, people just loved it, and I just wanted to bring something to the world that was just like, why does everybody gatekeep everything? Like, I just couldn't understand that. So the Lord kind of gave me this in the process of healing myself. Um, it was just one heck of a learning journey because nobody tells you anything. Companies will sell you supplements. One, they're packed with fillers. Two, they're weaker because of the fillers, so you have to buy more of them. Three, they don't tell you, hey, you probably don't want to start here. You should start here before you start here. They don't tell you how to use the products, what other benefits or what other supplements you could be taking to make your cleansing journey even better. So the Lord was like, hey, cleansing the body is not difficult. We have to open the pathways, we got to remove the metals, and then go after mold, candida, parasites. It's that simple. He said, let's create step by step kits that walk people through the process, tell them what time to take the supplements so there's no confusion. And so that's what I did. I restored my body completely in 11 months. I passed parasites every day for 11 months. By the end of 6 months, I didn't need the cane anymore. Um, so I just got on TikTok and I started teaching people how to make all the, like, a lot of herbal medicine for themselves too. And here we are, 5 years in October, it'll be 5 years, and we've grown exponentially, and we've got thousands and thousands of customers now who have restored their bodies. And not, it's just from the wisdom that we've really given back to them. Like, but really the kudos goes to our customers and clients who believe it and then act on it. So here we are.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think what's so fascinating is that So you're here. You were here where some people are back in, having a cane when in your 30s is like not acceptable. But it's also a story that we think, well, this is just the way it is. And you knew enough to say, no, there's got to be a better way. And because you're open in your faith, that you're open to divine guidance and
Yeah.
conversations and things that, like it came through your daughter to say,
Yeah.
hey, and what's so wild about social media is that it's free. I mean, if you've ever tried to do a business but way back when, the amount of money you would spend in advertising and hoping that somebody saw whatever it was,
Right.
wherever you paid to have it go. And now it's also that willingness to share a message. Oh my goodness, I love it. So, what would you say? I have so many questions personally, and I'm trying to filter them because I wanted to book your consultation. So, if you guys don't know, when I post this, I'll make sure that you have her website, and part of her website has a wellness course in it. It also has a consultation, which literally before we started, she was making sure that like customer service was on the other side of the door. So like
Mhm.
they're in it, they're there for us to answer any questions. So I guess for the specifics that are crossing my mind, um, and after watching your videos, that you start with open pathways. Is that where
Mhm.
you start with somebody? Is that how the best way to go about this?
Yeah, generally, if someone's, ready to start the cleansing process, we usually that I mean that's step one before you do anything because you want to make sure that all of the organ systems in the body are open and flowing and functioning how they should, so toxins don't get stuck and reabsorb back into the body. But there's also times that we have people who come to us and they've never pooped well in their life, or their hair is falling out and their skin and their nails very brittle. And I'm like, so one, cleansing the body is very hard on the body. So if there's somebody that has that, first, we start with something that we have is called our Daily Essential 5 pack, where we focus on remineralizing the body and building that reserve back up so that the foundation of the body is strong, so that you can go forward with cleansing, so that, you just feel better and you're not so like, ugh, and it's not so hard on the system.
Well, this is going to be a personal share, yet my hopes are that whenever I choose to share and step into this uncomfortable, embarrassing spot, that it helps somebody else. So I wish I didn't and couldn't relate to what you're talking about. But I had our son at 36, and 9 months after I was so proud, I nursed, I did all the things. It was a long, terrible, sad to say, it was 22 hours of labor because I wasn't able to actually have him naturally like I'd hoped, but realized
Mhm.
nobody helped me with the whole, Lamaze is a thing, like the breathing part of actually all of it happening. And I believe that from having him and then not realizing how, you know, important it is to have your digestion and like fully
Yeah.
cooked every single day. And I kept saying to myself, well, because I was breastfeeding, I was discounting some other things. And I
Mhm.
also wasn't really thinking about, I could tell when I didn't have enough calories because I could feel my body just like not
Yeah.
performing as well. And sometimes I would tell myself, well, I think it's because you're an older mom. All the stories, right? It's just stories. Yet 9 months to the day he was born, I was in the hospital with the most beautiful array of young men doctors. I was just like, is there a woman? And I was like, hello? And they're like training or something. And they look like they were from Grey's Anatomy. And they're so
Oh my
pretty. And they were just
gosh.
like, so when was your last bowel movement? I'm like, are you seriously asking me when I pooped last? I'm so embarrassed. And they're like, but we think it's your appendix.
Yep.
And I was like, what? I was so mad because I was like, I didn't need to be here. And it's such a simple thing, but it's not a simple thing because I kept discounting it. I was like excusing the fact that, oh, that's for them, and just thinking this is me. I'm the only
Yep.
one. And I was so lucky. I was like this close to it bursting. That was worse than any childbirth. I mean, like it was the worst pain ever. And from there, I started learning, wow, some of the food I was eating, I might as well eat the box. The box
Right.
had more value than what was in it. So
Hmm.
I started understanding, and it's taken a long time to see and understand too, because I had Lucy 2 years later. I was in Texas and my water broke. She came 9 weeks early.
Wow.
And it was because of thyroid, and it was ended up being Hashimoto's and all these
Yeah.
things that literally go back to digestion.
Yep.
It's all digestion. Like it's so dumb. And the dis-ease that was going on in my body, I'm like, ah. So
I
when I
know.
see so my question that I would have knowing, I feel like I'm a little bit more knowledgeable because of these things that have happened. So you start with these places. Does somebody stop taking their regular supplements? Do they put a pause? What do you recommend?
Well, not necessarily. We just say that if you're taking like a B vitamin complex or something that's just a foundational support for the body, we say, or like turmeric. A lot of people take that for inflammation. That's all fine to continue. And a lot of medications, we really haven't found many medications either, like Western medications that interfere. You just always want to make sure you take them 2 hours apart from the herbs so that they don't pull from each other.
Very cool. So, and what do you recommend protocol for kids?
Well, you never want to cleanse a child under the age of 3 because their immune system is not fully developed yet. So you want to make sure that their immune system is fully developed and can function because cleansing is rough on the system. So we have a kit for kids for ages 3 and up. It's a liquid. And it helps open the pathways. First, you focus on the digestion, and then it takes care of the candida, heavy metals, mold in the body. And then we also have a bento binder, which is just a tasteless powder that you can put in their juice or their food that they'll never even know they're taking to help bind the toxins as they're coming out of the body.
Oh my goodness. So, what would you say in this journey that would be your everything everyone must have? So they open pathways, I feel like, yes, and cleansing, all the kits, but
Mhm.
out after we do the basics, what would you say is your absolute favorite everyone must have?
Can I name a couple?
I would
Yeah.
think you
Okay.
would. Like, I don't even know how you would decide.
Yeah. So that's been fun too, because a lot of the supplements I created weren't for me, they were for customers. Because my first product that I ever launched was the Parasite Kit. Um, but it was in that process that the Lord was showing me, wait, there's a process. We have to go about it this way. And that's how this all came about. So as the products came out, and then people would be like, hey, I need something for this. My hormones are a wreck. I need something for that. So I just started. So over the last couple months, I started testing some of these. So Primo Neuro, that is a game changer. I have tied B1 deficiency to almost every bladder issue, neurological issue, nausea, can't gain weight. Like there's a serious B1 epidemic. I can't tell you how many people we've gotten rid of neuropathy at this point just from giving them our Primo Neuro because everyone's B1 deficient.
I
Yeah.
just saw something, and it was showing like if you have certain signs like the chapped lips, a discolorization in your gums, all these things, and all I could think of was how many kids have I seen this, you know what I mean, just
Yeah.
like, and didn't know
Yeah.
what it was and just thought, oh, they are dehydrated, but it's
Nope.
B1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most certainly. Our magnificent magnesium is a game changer. We took the top 6 magnesiums that the body needs, and people don't realize that. They're like, "Oh, I take magnesium glycinate." That's great, but did you know I think there's over like 13 types of magnesiums, but there's 6 that are really good for the body, for like the brain, the bowel, the blood, the bones. So we have all those in ours. So that one's great. We also never use any fillers. And all of our capsules are hand pressed by humans. So there's that whole quality to everything small batch. Um, and then our divine bovine, I won't miss a day of that. That will give you energy for days. Um, and then of course our like see the light, mind your minerals. Like I always take those throughout the day. Um, those are just daily staples because they're just herbs, and you're just making sure that the reserves in your body stay full. And and our herbacillin, I don't go anywhere without that. Like when I travel, I take at least 3 or 4 bottles with me. I give it away to like flight attendants who have the sniffles. Because I have not been sick in 4 years since I created that. I have been around people who have been like on their deathbed. Literally, my mom died last year from influenza A, and not even so much as a sniffle because I just kept taking the Ervacillin every 3 hours. So yeah, those are my like top 4 or 5.
Oh my goodness. So do you have a like a multivitamin, or is it because we're lacking in these minerals that when you clear the pathways, when you take all the metals, then those individual herbs make such a difference that we don't need a multivitamin? Am I understanding that?
That is what we have come to find. I'm really not a big fan of like vitamin complexes because they're never the actual real form of the vitamin that you need. But when you like our Mind Your Minerals is an amazing blend because we just took all the top herbs that are super high and have a high mineral content. So when you actually use the source, like I mean, we're a biblical based company. We believe we were made from the dirt. So we have to consume the things that are actually coming from the dirt because that's what makes us. So that's why herbs are so potent to get your mineral and vitamins.
Oh my. Oh my. I'm just thinking how how many things that I've seen on, and some clients have sent it to me, or I save it and send it to them, and now I want everything Amy, in the fact that like it would say your deficiencies, and it would say all these different minerals, the ADHD, the ADD, the just simple migraines. Like I, knock on, I've
Yeah.
I used to be that person,
Yeah.
and now I know that magnesium, Celtic sea salt, like those immediate, like way
Yeah.
better than the medicine that's gonna do such harm.
Yeah. I
So,
think the hardest thing for me these last 5 years, because it's day in, day out, doing these like herbal trials on myself, my family, our friends, our customers, people come and just like, here, use me. And at the end of the day, every single person who just cares and wants to restore their body, it's so simple. They put the good nutrients back in, they're resting, they're eating healthier, they're drinking good water that's not in plastic bottles, you know. So it really is simple. And all you need are a few foundational things to kind of get us through um, to restore the body back. And we
mm,
have a whole medical complex that just will sell you everything but that.
right. Such
And
fillers.
yeah, it's frustrating. That's
Well,
why we do what we do for free. You should not I shouldn't have. That's why we got into this free call center. We got into because I'm like, how are we charging people $500 to $1,000 to ask them, well, what's your diet look like? What are you doing? And how can we help you from here? Like, it just seems so biblically wrong. So yeah, we're just not going to do that. We're just here to help people, ask questions. We'll give you the best answer we got.
oh my goodness. So tell us more about your location and your move, because this is a big deal.
Yeah, so the first year of my business, I converted my one garage into my office, and that's where we like restored identity started. Actually, it started in a storage container, but this office we've been at now, we've been at for 3.5 years. So it's very bittersweet because it's my hometown. It's where I grew up, born and raised, graduated. You know, so, but we're growing so fast, and it's really a blessing. And we did have like a wellness center at one point, and the community absolutely loved it. But it's really hard to find good employees and people who want to work weekends and nights and do those kind of things. So we just kind of withdrew for a minute and took a step back, came together as a team, and we were like, okay, the people really miss the storefront. They miss being able to come in and have people to talk to and just people love on them and encourage them. So we all went around and just tried to find the perfect building. And then one just kind of fell in our lap.
Not by
And
surprise.
yeah, and within the next month, we're going to be moving, and we're so excited because we're going to have a huge space to be able to do more. I love to do free community classes where we teach about fresh milling your own grain. We had a fresh mill crepe class, which everybody really loved that. But just a place for people to come and get loved on and not get ripped off and ask questions and heal and
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm in awe I am in awe of the stewardship that you've chosen, and I love it's biblical because I believe that too many times we make it harder than it needs to be, and you've clearly.
Yeah. That's why we say back to the basics. Like I have a lot of people who come to me and they want like really complicated like medical answers. I'm like, I'm not your girl. Like I don't know all the fancy terms. I can't tell you all the names of parasites. I don't really care either because I can tell you I just followed really simple steps and I restored my health. So I don't think we should complicate it. Like I know there are people who need that complicated answer. It's just not for me.
Well, and I think that that's such a great example that we have made things so much harder than they need to be, and it goes this way and that way, and really the simplicity behind it. I mean, I just think of how many years that I've taken so many supplements, and I've always wondered if they really make a difference. Well, it's yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, you can't go back. Yet
Hmm.
when you do feel better, you start making better choices.
Yep.
And when you're taking the time and energy to find, the things that your body needs, it does respond. So,
Right. And sometimes some people just like women, especially, they can't get out of the dead end job or the dead end relationship because they just don't feel well. Like, imagine if we could just start getting people to feel well, get a little nutrients back in their body. Everybody could rise up and do what they were called to do, and we could turn this whole world around. That's my theory.
yeah. Well, I would say from my experience of working with women, yeah, and they think they're the only ones. Like,
Hmm.
I think I'm ADD, I'm ADHD, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, I think it's a simple brain fog. I'm not gonna, like I'm not a
Yeah.
doctor, but I'm, the hormone imbalances, but clearly there's a mineral deficiency. And you have figured it all out. Oh my gosh. So, how do you balance your own ambition and rest? And, how do you balance all this with your business? Do you have some tips, insights other than taking great supplements,
Yeah, so we are, like I said, biblical based. So we actually still keep the Sabbath day. Our whole company shuts down. We do the lunar calendar, which means we follow the sun, moon, and stars, like in Genesis 1. So once a week, from sundown to sundown, I turn my phone off. I don't work, I don't buy, I don't sell, I just rest. And I don't know how, but I feel like that one day off just gives me an extra day during the week. Um, so yeah, I rest. That's my secret weapon.
It is. Oh my gosh, you're so refreshing. It's the simplicity that we have complicated things in this world and we believe that, we always have to be right there, yet it's also a boundary. So I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What is there any other insights that you would want to share or be able to speak to someone who's, coming upon you? They're finding your website, they're finding your passion, finding the simplicity. Is there anything else that you would want to share?
Um, well, it's just nothing's impossible. You're never too far gone. Like it doesn't matter what sickness or disease you have, like we've seen everything reversed at this point. So if you have the willpower, you can restore your body. Just like Jesus with the guy at the well. He's like, do you want to be healed? That's a real question you have to ask yourself because a lot of people hide in the identity of who their sickness is. And who will you be if you're no longer the girl who has celiac or who no longer deals with, IBS or has an excuse to not go places because you now longer have that disease. So, do you want to be healed?
I feel like there was a video that you had done. I can't remember what it was because you know how sometimes they pop up and depending on where it is, TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram, all the things. I believe that you were saying something about when somebody says, I have,
Yeah, life
I
and
have.
death are in the power of the tongue. Like you got to not speak negativity over yourself, especially your body. Um, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is too, scripture says. So it's all about, we are transformed, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So speak life over yourself, choose life, walk in that. don't be so hard on yourself either. We're so hard on ourselves. We take ourselves so seriously. It's really not that serious. Because at the end of the day, you can't take any of this with you except people. So,
Oh my goodness, you're so wise. You're so wise. And I love your big heart. And then I wish we lived closer.
where are you?
Michigan.
Oh, I've never been to Michigan.
Um,
I have to come visit.
yes. Well, I
Yeah.
was just thinking, we are putting together a number of events and you would be an absolute gift because you do bring to light so many subjects that I think a lot of us have, and I'm not medical, so
Right.
that was not my background, but knowing enough of the situations that came up, I thought there's got to be a better way. There's something different and better. And here it is, simplicity and
Yeah.
the fact that you have some options for our kiddos because when you start to see some of these things show up in them, it doesn't need to be this way.
Yep. I mean, we just had a lady today, she posted about I mean just even buying like autism. Like I get it. I have autistic tendencies too, you know what I mean? But seeing kids who are nonverbal and doctors being like, "Oh, well, this is their life." And then cleansing them and giving them some detox baths and now they're speaking full sentences. Like how many children have we failed?
Well, and it's also the parents because the parents have changed everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And that simplicity, I've been, yeah, the parasite part is absolutely unreal. And you were talking about the simple things like the bottom feeders, the ham, like some of these things that like we've grown up eating, not realizing how hard it is on our body to digest. And so, yeah. Well, I feel so privileged that you saved time with us today, and I'm so
Of course.
grateful that you were willing to listen to the calling on your life because it doesn't mean that you haven't had challenges. Um, any growing anything, but especially health, I think is has been harder than it needs to be. And yet I can only imagine on the other side your testimonials, like things like, oh, I mean, you've just ripple effect the entire circle around that family. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's pretty wild to some of the stuff that we've seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. I'm so grateful for you. And
Thank
um, I know that we'll be sharing, yeah, all the before and afters and all the options that you offer and
Yes.
the simplicity and your move. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.